What's the most depraved thing you've ever done? I met a girl on Tinder who used to be a stripper and was currently working as a webcam model. I thought she was joking and suggested we go to the club where she used to work to catch her in a lie. We went there, got in for free, and were treated to free drinks all night. We ended up at my place, where she performed a striptease for me, and we hooked up 7 out of 10. The next morning, she asked to use my room for a webcam session. Mid-session, she came out and said, "One of my regular clients noticed I'm not in my usual room." I told him I'm at a guy's place, and he just sent me $100 to have you sleep with me on camera. I agreed, and she gave me $50. The second case involved a supervisor from my job, let's call her Amy, whom I found very attractive. She rejected my date invitations twice, so I backed off. Her friend, let's call her Bella, a production manager a level above Amy, told me that Amy doesn't like dating colleagues but actually likes me. Bella came up with a plan. She and Amy would go to a bar, Bella would text me their location, and I'd accidentally run into them. That night came, we all got drunk, took a taxi to my place, and Bella passed out as soon as she crossed the threshold. Amy and I got to it. The next morning, I woke up, called a taxi, and went to work. Soon after, Bella woke up, climbed into my bed, and said, "I deserve a reward for helping you last night." She blew my mind. I'm not sure I'd do it again. My girlfriend pleased me in the back seat while her best friend drove. I noticed her glancing at us through the rearview mirror. Another time, I was pleased in my parents' car while they sat in the front. My girlfriend pretended to be asleep on my lap. I had sex in a mosh pit at a Marilyn Manson concert, thanks to a jealous girl who kept pulling my hair from behind every time I got close to the bald guy in front of me. Because of her, it lasted 5 minutes longer. I met a girl at a house party while smoking outside. She was sobbing because she'd just broken up with her boyfriend. 10 minutes later, we were back in the house, found an empty room upstairs, and got busy. I've always felt this was my worst act. The second case would be hooking up with a hot woman over 60 I met while drinking in a hotel jacuzzi. We were there to celebrate my grandmother's 70th birthday, so all my relatives were around. After a lot of drinks, she invited me to her room, and I learned a lot. Damn, she was in great shape and looked amazing for her age. In the multiplayer game Perfect World, I created a sexy female character and pretended to be a girl to get free gear from guys. I lasted 4 days because the guys got creepier and creepier, but I can't deny the results were impressive. I felt like a total slut but made serious progress. Once, I voluntarily lived as a homeless person for about a year after reading Henry Miller's story about being a starving artist in Paris, eating at least once a day by mooching off 7 friends, visiting one each week for dinner. I decided to find 7 girlfriends using Miller's method, thinking I'd have love and a roof over my head every night without imposing. I ended up dating 6 different women in a row. I'd sleep with one at night, then in the morning, go to the next who wanted to hook up as soon as I arrived, and so on. Before that period, I couldn't imagine burning out, but it happened. After that, I started meeting women who wanted me, but I turned them down. I soon realized women, like men, don't like being rejected. Eventually, I concluded that quantity isn't a substitute for quality. I found a girlfriend I'm happy with, and we've been together for years. 2 sisters pleased me at the same time. I sat in the middle of the back seat of a car, and they both played with me. What a wonderful evening. I pretended to be the boyfriend of a girl I met at a bar to convince another couple to hook up with us. It was her plan, and I went along with it. In the end, I let the other guy have my girl and slept with his. I felt like a winner. One time, I posted on Reddit begging people to share intimate stories. I was ready to get off reading the comments when my mom came home from work. I had a ton of homework, so I had to close everything to finish before bed. I hooked up with a bunch of smart, unattractive girls in college so they'd help me with my homework. I had sex on a cemetery, not the grassy kind with tombstones scattered around, but a concrete one in New Orleans. I was chatting with a guy on Tinder, and we agreed to meet in the city. It was sunset when we got food, then walked and talked. It got darker, and since our Tinder chat was pretty explicit, we were both turned on and decided to find an alley to do it. It was Mardi Gras, though, and we couldn't find a private spot. We left the residential area and ended up by a huge concrete wall, a closed cemetery. Fueled by hormones, we climbed the 2-meter wall and got it on among the dead. We probably earned a curse, but it's a fun story, and I love sharing it. In my student years, at a party at my house, where I lived with 7 other guys, I hooked up with a girl. We went to the bedroom, got dressed, and went back to the party. About 10 minutes later, another girl came up and said, "My friend said you're a good kisser." I told her she should find out for herself. We kissed for a while, then went upstairs. I'll admit, I wasn't sober or stamina ready for a great second act, but it was still a great night. I used to deliver furniture, which meant we ate only when we had free time between deliveries. One time, we stopped at the house of the guy I was working with that day to eat. He called for his partner's daughter, but no one answered. He went to the bathroom, and I sat at the table to eat. While he was gone, his stepdaughter came out of the bedroom with 2 guys. I instantly knew what they'd been up to. She looked at me with horror, lifted her shirt to show me her chest, put a finger to her lips to ask me to stay quiet, and they all slipped out the kitchen door like kittens. He never found out. Years ago, a girl who worked at a burrito place suggested I follow her on Tumblr. She was hot and often posted nude photos and videos. One day, she posted asking for dick pics. I sent one, and she posted it anonymously with a comment praising it so much that I started sending them regularly. Soon, I was sending 13 pics a week. If I didn't send for a few days, she'd message me asking for more. My self-esteem hit the roof. She never knew my username or asked for it, and damn, I got hard every time I bought a burrito from her. I rented the movie Michael with John Travolta when I was a college student on break, to give you an idea of my age. I borrowed it for 3 days. For 3 nights in a row, I invited 3 different girls to my parents' basement to watch it. Honestly, I still haven't seen the movie. I ran into an incredibly drunk Norwegian girl before dawn in Barcelona. She could barely string 2 words together. I struggled to get her address and carried her home. Her friend was worried sick and so grateful I brought her home. Before I knew it, I was hooking up with the friend in the same room where the drunk girl passed out. In my student years, I was in a relationship with a girl. We lived in a house with 8 people, 4 of whom I slept with, 3 girls and a guy. They all knew I had a girlfriend, but only the guy knew about the others. Some people might want to be in that situation, but honestly, it was one of the hardest times of my life. I constantly felt guilty and ashamed, living a double life. I was a terrible person and lied to everyone to hide what I was doing. It killed my soul. Eventually, everyone found out, and it hurt them all. My girlfriend dumped me, I was kicked out of the house, and I lost a ton of friends. But I learned my lesson. Since then, I've been faithful in every relationship. We got caught fooling around in the jacuzzi of our apartment complex. Residents called the cops, who dragged us out, sat us on the floor, and gave us a lecture. Amazingly, I wasn't arrested. Years ago, I was about to graduate from university. My fiancé cheated on me 2 weeks before our lavish, expensive wedding. I slept with both of his brothers. One day, I decided to show my adventurous side and pleased my boyfriend in the car. When I finished, I realized we were at a red light, and next to us, in a big truck, was my grandfather, a truck driver. His cab was high enough to see everything. I waved, the light turned green, and he never mentioned it. I sure wasn't going to bring it up. Please subscribe to our channel to catch more super interesting discussions. Become our patron via the link in the description to listen to our episodes ad-free and uncensored in the background. In the meantime, check out our other videos.